Hey guys, Danny here, and this week we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be restoring this M5 bumper. Bought this on eBay quite a while ago, and I'm finally getting around to fixing it with my friend Jeremy here. As you can see, it's got some pretty major cracking. It's split right there. Going to be filling that up, going to be fixing that, and then we're going to prime and paint this. So, let's get started. Alright, so here we've scuffed up the surface here to try to get the surface ready for the adhesive, and we're going to use a Dremel to create a bit of a V bend there so that the filler can have somewhere to go. Alright, so now we've got the V groove cut, so now the adhesive will go into it well, and now we're going to put some aluminum tape on the other side to keep it all together. Alright, so we've applied the first coat of this epoxy, right?
It's epoxy plastic bumper repair for ABS plastic. So
right.
It's epoxy resin based.
Alright, so yeah, we've applied the first coat and we're going to let that dry for a bit, and then we're going to put on a second coat, right?
Yep.
Alright, sounds good. Alright, one note I wanted to make is that the reason we're using this bumper repair epoxy is because unlike Bondo, this stuff can flex and it's designed for plastic bumpers, whereas Bondo might work in the short term, but the minute the bumper flexes or expands due to heat, those cracks are going to come right back. So that's why we're using this stuff. Alright, so here we are after applying the second coat of the epoxy on the back. You could barely even see the V groove we made. It's holding together pretty well. Yeah. And also note that we put some jack stand bits there, and we put a jack stand here to kind of put pressure on it to keep that closed so that it, stays sealed pretty well. Now we're just going to let it cure for about an hour as per the instructions, and then we're going to do the other side. Alright, so now we've let the epoxy sit for about an hour to cure, and now we're going to use the Dremel and make another V groove up here so we could coat on the outside. Alright, now we're applying a coat of epoxy to this side. That way, yeah, we made a V groove on this side, scuffed it up. That way it's filled on both sides for maximum structural rigidity. Alright, right here is the craziest crack repair attempt ever invented. Look at this. This is a crack that goes over the entire front and over the top. This is like a super structural crack too. So if we could fix this, we could fix anything. So we're just going to put epoxy all over this. We've got the C-clamp holding it all together because this does not want to stay together otherwise. Alright, so after many hours of prep, we've gotten all of the cracks sealed up. It's all one piece now, which is amazing considering how ridiculous that crack was over there. We used my dual action polisher, except we put a sanding disc on it, like a 120 grit, and we just ran it all down. And it came out pretty good. Some of these parts are almost ready for paint. This still needs to be filled a little more. It's not exactly even yet. We're going to call it a night for now, and then tomorrow we're going to go over this with some more body filler. But we're going to get some filler that works with plastic. But yeah, overall, I mean, a lot more body work than I planned, but it came together real nice considering how messed up this thing was. Alright, so it's the next day, and the JB Weld plastic bumper fix stuff was garbage, didn't even cure overnight. So we just sanded it all off, and we're going to use a Evercoat kitty hair filler, and we're gonna fill this low spot right here. And boy, does this stuff smell strong. But Jeremy says it works awesome, so let's see. Alright, so many hours of hand sanding and block sanding later with 120 grit, and we've got this. Everything's pretty smooth. We still need to do one more round of filler just to get the last bits of it down. But man, can't even believe it's the same bumper. Look at that. It's all one piece, all smooth. I mean, you could run your hand down this. Feels great. Alright, so after many hours of prep, we're finally done with the prep work. We sanded it down with 120, then 240, and then we just finished it with 500. This thing feels smooth. It feels like plastic again now. The fillers are nice and flush. Everything's how it should be. And so now the next major step is going to be washing this thing outside, letting it dry off, and then spraying it down with the adhesion promoter. Alright, so before this was a garage, and now it's a ghetto paint booth. We're going to paint right there. We're going to put some jack stands on, and we're going to use that to hold up the bumper. I've taken a lot of things out of here, and I've put tarps on everything I sort of care about, like the Christmas tree and a pile of stuff in the corner. We've made this little door out of plastic sheeting. That'll keep the bugs out and the spray out. Put some plastic on the window there. Covered the toolbox. So we should be ready to paint. So now we're doing that crucial last step before priming, which is to just get all the grease and, you know, dirt and wax or anything off of this. We're using some Tide in a bucket, and yeah, that should clean it all up. After this is all done, we're gonna rinse it off and let it dry, and then it'll be finally ready to be primed. Alright, so it's been about a day or two since we finished spraying the first coat of clear. We had some issues with the gun spitting because the clear was too thick, so we had to switch to a higher pressure to accommodate for that, but still came on a little too thick, so it took a pretty long time to dry. So today we went out and bought a different brand of clear that will be a little thinner and hopefully easier to lay down. Came down pretty good for the most part here, but you could definitely see some orange peel and a few little runs if you look real close, but those will come out easily. It still looks pretty good. I mean, just needs a little more finesse. Surface is really good though on this. And then a bug fell in to the clear. We picked it out, but we gotta wet sand that out a little bit. And there where the light is, you can kind of see the orange peel going on. But the good news is we took the little tow hook cover and we compared it up to my car, and it looks like it'll be a really close match, so I'm pretty excited. Alright, so this is what the bumper looks like after laying down another 2 coats of clear. We switched to a different brand this time, and this one sprayed a lot better because this one had some reducer in it, which, you know, made it a little thinner and easier to spray compared to the last stuff we used. A little bit of orange peel, but nothing that won't come out with some wet sanding, and that shine is so awesome. It's crazy that we're able to get such good results in like a garage of all places. Alright, so now the second and third coat of clear have dried. Gonna wet sand this now with 1,000 on the drips and then 1,500 everywhere else. Then after that we're gonna buff it and polish it, and this thing's gonna be done. Alright, so here we're sanding it with 1,000 grit, wet sanding it. Get all the orange peel out and get any drips out. It really smooths out the texture, which is nice. Makes it nice and smooth to the touch. So this is coming out pretty good. Alright, after a bunch of wet sanding with 1,000 and 1,500 grit sandpaper, gotten most of the orange peel out, most of the little runs out, and it's a pretty flat but dull texture. But as you can see, there's no orange peel, no runs now. It's a very smooth surface for us to work with. So now this is kind of the test area. We're going to use a mcguire's 6-inch microfiber cutting pad. with mcguire's M105 cut compound and a microfiber towel, and we're gonna give this a shot. So this is after a quick compounding with the M105. You can see the shine is starting to come back. You can see the reflection of the light. Looks pretty awesome, and this is just the first application. So I'm pretty stoked. Now we just have to do the rest of the bumper like that. Alright, so it's been some time since the last clip, so let me fill you in on what happened here. It didn't quite work out as expected, but that's okay. You know, we're all just learning how to do this stuff. But what happened is we had a lot of really bad runs in the clear coat, and the reason was because we mixed up way too much clear coat. We mixed up you know, 2 coats worth and put it all in the gun with hardener, and that's where we kind of messed up, because what had happened was the hardener started making the clear coat, you know, all thick and goopy. So the second coat we applied, there were runs just everywhere, runs and really bad drips. So we've had to just go back over and start wet sanding the, you know, the utter crap out of everything. And unfortunately, you know, because of that, we ended up going through the paint in some spots, or through the clear down to primer. As you can see there, this isn't that bad, but the worst of it was here. There was some really awful runs and drips and whatnot, and some really terrible orange peel, and I would not be able to live with that. So we were just like, screw it, we're just gonna do this right. So we just sanded everything down like crazy, and I mean, everything is a lot smoother now, so I don't regret doing this at all. I still have paint, I still have clear. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna kind of redo this a little bit. I mean, a lot of it came out pretty good though, you know. It's like the front came out great. You know, no complaints overall with the front. It came out really nice. It's a little dirty now, but that's fine. We're not gonna be redoing that. We're just gonna be redoing the parts that we messed up on. On the bright side, the repairs seem to be holding pretty well. So I'm happy about that. And yeah, so next step will be to finish the wet sanding. We still got a little more orange peel to take care of here. I don't know if you could really see it on the camera, but it's kind of bad here, and then there's some more runs on the side here. Once we take care of that, we're gonna lay down a we're gonna have to primer some parts of it again. We're gonna lay down 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of base, and we're gonna lay down a little, you know, another coat of clear all along this top section, because this was the worst of all. Here's the primer we're using, SEM flexible primer. This is what you want to use on a bumper because it allows for flexing. Duh. This is what we used for the color. We used a matrix color, which is for the Japan rod. We got a really good match. So we initially started by using this Matrix Premium High Solids clear coat, and that for some reason didn't work too well with the gun we were using. It just ended up spitting a bunch. So what we ended up switching to, also this is the clear coat we're going to go with for this redo as well. We still got about half of this, so I think that's it for this video. I'm just going to stop it here. And then the next video, I'm just going to show you how we fix this up and get it all done and, buffed and polished and put on the car. So, yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If not, tell me in the comments why not. And if you have any cool painting tips, feel free to share them too. I mean, we certainly learned a lot of cool stuff about bodywork here.